With the Z Fold 6, Samsung finally fulfilled its ambition of creating a foldable that could both imitate the feel of a conventional phone and double as a stylish tablet. About 5 years after the first Galaxy Fold was introduced, Samsung's book-shaped phone has become thinner, lighter, more robust, and more natural, a seemingly little but essential development. Influenced by the S24 Ultra, the new look of the Z Fold 6 is its most arresting improvement. Samsung has also included some new AI-powered software features, an ultra-wide camera sensor that is better at taking images in the dark, and a fresh CPU to match the one within the Galaxy S24 range. Those improvements come at a price of precisely $1,900. Given that Samsung's already costly foldable phone costs $100 more than it did last year, the Z Fold is a luxury gadget. Though Samsung's price increase feels like a step backward, especially given the firm unveiled major upgrades like a redesigned hinge and a lighter design without increasing costs years before, the slimline frame of the Z Fold 6 marks a stride ahead. Using the Z Fold 6 has been fun, and I can understand why it could be difficult to return to a standard phone once you have one. More reasonably priced models and creative software that makes greater use of their two screens, the two major things I'm looking for in tablet-style foldable phones, have not come from Samsung. Instead, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 feels like an attempt to bring foldable phones up to speed with ordinary phones in areas such as design and camera quality, a minor step ahead rather than a tremendous leap forward. When closed, the Z Fold 6 has little trouble passing for a conventional phone. Apart from the somewhat bigger cover display, 6.3 inches versus 6.2 inches on the Z Fold 5, the borders framing the screen are more symmetric. Like the S24 Ultra, the phone's corners seem sharper and more angular. Taken together, these tweaks give the Z Fold 6's outside appearance more of a typical standalone phone than a cover screen. It's not only about appearance. The roomier display offers a somewhat larger canvas for snapping pictures while the phone is closed, and the flatter edges are simpler to handle. As soon as you take up the Z Fold 6, it is 14 grams lighter than the Z Fold 5. Unlike earlier folds, it also has an IP48 durability certification. Hence, it should have some protection from external objects, including trash, in addition to water resistance. Samsung must make such improvements to compete with the $1,800 Google Pixel Fold and $1,700 OnePlus Open, both of which include bigger exterior screens aimed at making their respective phones appear simple to navigate when folded. Though the Z Fold 6 feels like the ideal mix of being spacious enough to prevent degrading the phone experience without feeling overly broad, I used to favor the broader form of the Pixel Fold when closed over the Z Fold. Still measuring 7.6 inches, the internal tablet-sized screen resembles that of previous Z Fold models. Thanks to a more robust hinge and an extra display layer, the wrinkle is far less obvious this time. When opened, the new sharper edges also offer the Z Fold 6 a cleaner and more simplified appearance. The Z Fold 6's enormous screen was useful for perusing Google Maps and browsing images captured while meandering about Paris on a bigger display. Though I generally like to commit the whole internal screen to one program, split screen mode proved unexpectedly helpful when traveling, especially for taking restaurant ideas from a discussion in WhatsApp and inserting them right into Google Maps without having to move between applications. Like the rest of the tech sector, Samsung is fascinated by generative artificial intelligence and is searching for fresh approaches to apply the technology to its most critical products. With new functions that recast selfies in various creative styles, create entire pictures from preliminary drawings, use both of the Z Fold's displays to interpret conversations, and more, the Z Fold 6 is the company's most recent efforts toward precisely that. That's on top of already existing tools for deleting things from images, note summarizing, real-time phone conversation translation, and Google Search, all of which can be done by drawing a circle around an object on the screen. Playing with Portrait Studio, the instrument that stylizes individual images, is a lot of fun. Driven by a great interest in how Samsung's artificial intelligence would see my photographs, I descended into a rabbit hole, turning selfies into 3D cartoons, watercolor paintings, and drawings. The results were sometimes unidentifiable and sometimes pleasing and quite accurate. For instance, a cartoon version of me had blue eyes, whereas my actual eyes were brown. As its name suggests, sketch to image may produce a certain style of picture from a sketch. I'm a horrible artist, hence, my sketches are highly needed for improvement. Though a lot of fun, sketch-to-image was quite erratic, like Portrait Studio. Occasionally, when the phone transformed my barebones sketch into an Eiffel Tower watercolor picture, I was amazed by the results. Other times, the pictures were startling. When I created a basic stick figure, for example, the AI produced a figure fit for a Tim Burton movie. Still, sketch-to-image and Portrait Studio are fun and interesting. It's difficult to see how I would regularly utilize them. In principle, Samsung's Composer tool, which can create material for social media and communications depending on cues, seems more valuable. Just by changing keywords, it's given me rather similar sounding prose so far, whether I was responding to a friend's message or creating an Instagram caption. The new features using the Galaxy Z Fold 2 displays are what I most want to see. With a new conversation mode included in its interpreter translating tool, Samsung is headed in the right direction. In this case, the software may display translated text on both the cover screen facing outward and the inner screen at the same time, allowing participants in a discussion to easily view translations simultaneously. Though it doesn't kick on immediately, you will need to place the phone in flex mode, that is, bent halfway to use the app in this manner. Originally, it wasn't immediately clear to me, but there's a little button at the top of the screen that sets conversation mode. As I got lunch from the busiest stall in the market, I held up the Z Fold in flex mode, but found it difficult to concentrate on the discussion, as I was too busy staring at the screen to ensure it was getting my words properly. Because the market was so packed, the phone continued to pick up speeches from other customers around them. Though it ended up being simpler to gesture, point, and use the few French words I knew to order my lunch instead of fiddling with the phone, I liked the idea. When speaking with a cab driver, for example, conversation mode seems to be only helpful in a few specific situations where there is little outside noise. Not to add, Google had included a similar translating capability on the Pixel Fold. This isn't fresh. Although Samsung's AI capabilities are remarkable when they function, I was particularly expecting additional features tailored to the special design of the Z Fold. Samsung hasn't said when or if Sketch-to-Image and Portrait Studio will visit the Galaxy S series, but there's no clear reason why they couldn't. Conversation mode in the Interpreter app is the only new capability that calls for a foldable screen. Not all these capabilities feel unique, however. Apple, for instance, recently revealed forthcoming iPhone capabilities for creating graphics based on doodles. Rather, I'm hoping Samsung discovers innovative, original approaches to highlighting the cover screen. One of the Galaxy Z Fold's better features, for instance, is its built-in kickstand. To prop up your phone while viewing a YouTube video or listening to Spotify, stand it up like a tent or bend it halfway backward in flex mode. Samsung should focus more on that aspect of the Z Fold. Assume that entertainment applications have unique flex mode widgets and interfaces. Properly still, what if the flex mode home screen was properly oriented for landscape? I'm seeking a Samsung variant of Apple's standby mode, which, when flipped sideways and plugged in, basically turns the iPhone into a little smart display. For the Z Fold, a function like this seems obvious. In a future update, the Z Fold 6 will run Google's Gemini overlay, that is, the mini window that comes up in multi-window mode, a step in the right direction. Just like the Galaxy Z Fold 5, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 boasts a 50-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 10-megapixel telephoto camera. When I tested the two phones' ultra-wide cameras side by side, I noticed that Samsung changed the sensor on the ultra-wide camera to enable it to operate better in low light. Although a foldable phone's camera quality is not the main factor to consider, a phone as expensive as the Z Fold 6 should have first-rate cameras. Though the Z Fold 6's camera technology is a step behind the Galaxy S24 Ultras, it still produces vivid, detailed images that, in many circumstances, are superior to those of its competitors. Generally speaking, Samsung's cameras shine in color. When compared to the Google Pixel Fold and OnePlus Open, photos taken on the Z Fold 6 seemed colorful and bright most of the time. Check out this picture of a slice of cheesecake, for instance. Samsung's picture is punchier than the other two, as it strikes the ideal mix of brightness, aggressiveness, and detail. The Pixel Fold moved ahead of the Z Fold in a few categories, namely nighttime photography and the ultra-wide camera. In the images below, Google's picture of a Parisian skyscraper taken at night stands out as brighter than Samsung's. Regarding the inside camera of the Z Fold 6, both good and negative news exist. The first negative is that the camera still only features a low-resolution 4-megapixel sensor. The positive is that right now, Samsung's image processing techniques make photographs taken with it seem decent. I preferred the selfie captured with the Z Fold 6's inner camera to the one captured with the Pixel Fold's 8-megapixel internal camera. The Galaxy Z Fold 6's cameras, among the best you can get on a foldable, appear to be what you would get on a premium phone overall. The hefty cost of the Z Fold 6 also indicates that the bar is considerably higher than previously. The Galaxy Z Fold's main focus is on Samsung's closure of the difference between its folding phones and regular Galaxy S models. That is also true concerning the CPU. Like the Galaxy S24 range, the phone operates on a version of Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor tailored for Samsung's Galaxy phones. Along with the Galaxy S24 series, Samsung's upcoming foldables will get fresh Android upgrades for 7 years. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 has a larger vapor chamber to enhance its cooling mechanism. The Z Fold 6 never lagged, stuttered, or felt hot to the touch, whether I was running many applications on the large screen, playing demanding games like Diablo Immortal, capturing video, or processing edits using Portrait Studio. Running benchmark tests aimed at gauging general computing, Geekbench 6, and graphic speed, 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme, did make things heated. Still, the Z Fold 6 outperformed the Google Pixel Fold and the OnePlus Open in Geekbench 6 and almost matched the OnePlus Open on 3D Mark, as demonstrated below. Though how much you get out of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 will depend on how often you utilize the internal screen and display brightness, the battery life on the gadget is sufficient to last a whole day. Usually, after around 15 hours of use, battery life drops to about the mid to upper 30s. After around 14 hours of use, the battery level decreased to the mid-20s and low 30s on days when I spent more time out in strong sunshine capturing pictures. Unlike the Galaxy Z Flip 6, which received a battery increase relative to its predecessor, the Z Fold 6 has the same battery capacity and charging rates as the Z Fold 5. To support the Z Fold 6's greater pricing, I wish Samsung had improved this area somewhat. Although the Galaxy S24 Ultra supports 45-watt charging compared to the Galaxy Z Fold 6's 25-watt charging speed, the battery on that smartphone increased from 41% to 84% after 30 minutes of cable charging, which is on par. The Z Fold 6 is indeed a remarkable piece of tech. From the time I picked it up, the Galaxy Z Fold's lightweight construction and attractive design captivated me. Now, I'm pleased to see that the crease isn't as obtrusive as it once was. Pricing the Galaxy Z Fold seems to indicate that Samsung has given up on trying to make book-style foldables widely available. The business seems happy to keep going that route rather than make the Z Fold more accessible. It sees the Z Fold as a luxury product for which consumers will be willing to pay top dollar. I would want more original software features created just for the Galaxy Z Fold and enhancements to charging speeds and battery life for increased pricing. Discounts offered by many carriers and stores help to lower that high price, but typically these offers come with requirements, like trading in an approved device or starting a new line of service. The Z Fold 6 has much to enjoy if you can overcome sticker shock. Simply put, I'm not sure how many people are ready to spend $1,900 to have that experience. Every camera is tested in a range of settings, from gloomy interiors to strong sunshine. We test out unique features like night mode and portrait mode and contrast our results with similarly priced rival phones. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.